Weapon 1. Project Rebirth. In the 1940s, the United States government initiated Project Rebirth in an effort to gain the upper hand during World War II. The initiative aimed to use the super soldier serum developed by Abraham Erskine in combination with Vita radiation to transform Allied soldiers into super soldiers. Abraham Erskine chose Steve Rogers to become America's first super soldier. Though the procedure was extremely painful, it successfully enhanced Rogers' physiology, granting him superhuman strength, durability, agility, and stamina, along with a massive increase in size and muscle mass. Sadly, Erskine was assassinated shortly after by Hydra, resulting in the super soldier serum formula being lost and Project Rebirth being terminated. Project Rebirth was later classified under the name Weapon Plus, which according to the comics is a series of experiments designed to create enhanced soldiers codenamed Weapons. Weapon 4. Man-Thing. Man-Thing's first appearance in the MCU was all the way back in 2017, as a sculpture of his face could be seen alongside the other champions of Sakaar and Thor. However, he officially debuted as a character in the TV special Werewolf by Night, where he was portrayed as a giant humanoid swamp creature that possessed immense strength and durability, along with the ability to generate acids. Throughout his appearances in the MCU, Man-Thing's origins remained quite mysterious, as we didn't learn much about his past other than his real name being Theodore Salas. But in the comics, his entire origin story was explained. Before turning into a hideous swamp creature, Theodore Salas was a brilliant biochemistry professor who was recruited by the United States Army for Project Sulfur, a program that aimed to make soldiers immune to chemical warfare. Theodore managed to create a serum that provided such immunity, but got ambushed by multiple agents who wanted to steal it from him. Although he was able to fight his way out of the ambush and inject himself with the serum, Theodore accidentally crashed into a swamp. There, the serum in his bloodstream got mixed with the magical energies of the swamp, which caused him to turn into Man-Thing. Weapon 6. Luke Cage. Carl Lucas was a police officer who was blamed for a crime that he didn't commit and ended up locked in Seagate, a prison full of illegal fight clubs and corrupt cops. Lucas planned to expose what was happening inside the prison, but before he managed to do so, he was ambushed and brutally beaten under the orders of a corrupt guard named Albert Rackham. Following the attack, Lucas was put on life support and was slowly dying, so Reva Connors, a counselor at Seagate Prison, demanded that he be put through a risky experiment that could save his life. Rackham tried to sabotage this experiment to get rid of Lucas, but his attempt backfired, as Lucas not only survived the treatment, but also gained nearly indestructible skin and enhanced strength, which he used to escape prison and start a new life under the name Luke Cage. While the TV series offered very little details about the experiment itself, the comics managed to give a clearer explanation. They revealed that after the Weapon X program started seeing notable success with their tests, they decided to continue their experiments on Seagate inmates. And since Lucas was one of those inmates, they ended up experimenting on him, giving him his powers. Still, the series did a good job showcasing just how durable Luke became after this procedure, as he was able to shrug off bullets, explosions, and even hits from superpowered individuals like Jessica Jones. Weapon X. Wolverine. Weapon X was another secret experiment conducted by the United States government, with the X representing the Roman numeral 10, making this project the 10th installment of the Weapon Plus program. Instead of focusing on normal humans like previous projects, Weapon X mostly experimented on mutants, aiming to enhance their powers and turn them into living weapons for the government to use. One of their test subjects was James Howlett, a mutant with an extremely powerful healing factor and the ability to extend bone claws from his fists. After quitting William Stryker's mutant team, which was known as Team X, Stryker planned to manipulate Logan into the Weapon X program by faking Kayla's death, while Sabretooth, Logan's half-brother who was also working for Stryker, acted as if he was responsible for the murder. This plan worked, as an enraged Logan agreed to undergo the Weapon X procedure to become stronger and take revenge on his brother. The experiment was extremely painful and potentially fatal, as Logan's skeleton, including his claws, was laced with molten adamantium. But thanks to his healing factor, Logan managed to endure it and escape the Weapon X facility before Stryker could erase his memories and weaponize him. Following Logan's adamantium upgrade, Stryker himself stated that Sabretooth wouldn't be a match for him anymore, which proved to be true, as Logan easily defeated his brother using his new claws and went on to build a legendary reputation as one of the X-Men. Sadly, as Logan grew older, his healing factor began to fail due to adamantium poisoning, which eventually led to his death. Still, that wasn't the end of Wolverine's story, as countless variants of him were still alive in the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse. Weapon 11, Deadpool. Wade Wilson was a mercenary and a mutant who possessed superhuman strength, reflexes, and a regenerative healing factor. He was also part of Team X and one of the few members, alongside Victor Creed and Agent Zero, who remained loyal to Stryker after the team disbanded. However, his loyalty was betrayed, as Stryker ordered Victor to eliminate Wade so he could use his body for the Weapon 11 project. After retrieving the body, Stryker sealed Wade's mouth, bonded his skeleton with adamantium, and gave him 2 retractable adamantium blades. He then enhanced Wade's body even further using DNA collected from numerous other mutants, giving Weapon 11 access to multiple abilities, such as Cyclops' optic beams, John Wraith's teleportation, and Chris Bradley's technopathy. After these experiments, Weapon 11 was given the name Deadpool and was sent to take down Wolverine, but he was stopped by Victor Creed, who stated that he wanted to eliminate his brother himself. Following Victor's interference, Weapon 11 found himself fighting both brothers alone, and although he managed to hold his own for a while, he was eventually taken down. But in the revised timeline, things are a bit different, as Wade Wilson gained his healing powers from a different experiment that didn't end with his mouth being sealed, and he went on to wear his comic-accurate red suit. Weapon alternative, Sabretooth. Victor Creed is a mutant with powers similar to Wolverine, possessing a slightly weaker healing factor and retractable fangs instead of claws. Unlike Logan, who quit Team X because he didn't want to take the lives of innocent people, Victor stayed as he was far more violent and animalistic. But Stryker still refused to let him undergo the adamantium procedure and chose to experiment on Logan instead, as he believed that Victor wouldn't be able to survive the process due to his inferior healing factor. A few years after being defeated by an adamantium-enhanced Logan, Victor aligned himself with Stryker once again and wanted to be experimented on. Since Stryker couldn't fuse Victor's skeleton with adamantium, he mutated him instead, making him bigger, stronger, and even more animalistic in appearance. Following this transformation, Victor took on the name Sabretooth and joined Magneto's Brotherhood of Mutants. Weapon X2, Lady Deathstrike. Yuriko Oyama was a mutant with extendable claws and a near-instant healing factor, which allowed her to survive the same adamantium infusion process that Logan underwent, giving her adamantium claws of her own. In order to control her, William Stryker used a mind control serum, which allowed him to turn Yuriko into his personal bodyguard, a role she was extremely good at, as she managed to stop an enraged Wolverine and proceeded to send him flying in the air, despite Logan being over 300 pounds due to his adamantium skeleton. Yuriko's healing also made her extremely durable, as she survived being stabbed by adamantium claws and even tanked an optic blast from Cyclops. However, after Logan injected her with liquefied adamantium, the molten metal destroyed her brain and body from the inside, instantly ending her life. Weapon X-23, Laura. In 2018, numerous mutant children were artificially created by Alkali Transigen as part of the Transigen project, with one of those children being Laura, also known as X-23. Since Laura was created using DNA samples from Wolverine, she is technically his biological daughter and therefore shares his healing factor and retractable claws. However, unlike Logan, who had 3 claws on each hand, Laura has 2 retractable adamantium claws on each hand and 1 claw on each foot. Initially, Project X-23 aimed to turn these mutant children into soldiers, but after it was deemed a failure, Transigen decided to get rid of them, and Laura was adopted by Gabriela Lopez, who begged Logan to take her to Eden, a place rumored to be a safe haven for mutants. Despite her small size and young age, she was able to take down multiple Reavers and even aided Logan in his fight against X-24. Although Logan met his end during that fight, his sacrifice allowed Laura to grow up and have a life. She even went on to meet another Wolverine variant and fought alongside him against Cassandra Nova's army, where she was able to take down a Juggernaut variant. Weapon X-24, Wolverine clone. After Project X-23 was deemed a failure, Alkali Transigen created X-24, a perfect clone of Logan during his physical prime, as his healing factor and strength were much greater than those of the older Logan, who was suffering from adamantium poisoning at the time. Since he was created solely to be a weapon, X-24 was designed to display only Logan's rage, without any of his compassion or self-control, which made him the perfect killing machine. Following X-23's escape, Transigen tasked X-24 with capturing her, only to be killed by the very girl he was sent to capture, as Laura shot him with an adamantium bullet.